Hi guys, in this video I am going to go through the basics of making some commonly used charts and graphs using Google Sheets. I'm going to go through a double bar graph or double bar chart, whatever you want to call it, a pie chart, line chart, and a scatter plot. Let's start off with a double bar graph. Now, some of you guys asked me what the difference is between a bar graph and a histogram is. The key difference is the bar graph looks at nominal data. Now, remember, nominal data is data that is put into categories that's not numbered or ordered. So in this case, if we look at this example, we have 4 people, we assume are students, their midterm mark and final mark. Now, because we're looking at 4 people here, we're going to be making a bar graph, not a histogram. Now, the steps are pretty straightforward. You just select all the data, including the headings, name, midterm mark, and final mark, insert chart, and Google Sheets will default to a certain chart or graph for you. Here I have what's called a stacked horizontal bar graph. We can use this too, but this is not good because we want to compare the students' midterm marks and final marks. So what you can do is when you make a chart, there's a chart editor. In the setup tab under chart type, you can select the chart that you want. Now we can do a double bar graph like this, vertical one like this, which is what Google Sheets calls a column chart. Or if I want to do it horizontally, I can also select this one right here, what Google Sheets calls the bar chart. Okay, so you can do either of those two if we're trying to compare the data between the midterm and final mark for each student. Now, what I can also do here is if I want to change the axis titles, click on customize. I don't have a vertical axis title, so I should probably write something. And sorry, that's under chart and axis titles. And I can select vertical axis title. I'm going to change that to mark as a percentage. Okay. And there we go. One other thing we can also do to bar graphs is if they're all pretty high up and they all have a pretty high minimum, we can have the minimum start at a number other than 0 to emphasize the differences between the changes in marks. Now I do that by looking at the vertical axis. Click on vertical axis here, and under minimum I can change the minimum. Since the lowest mark a student got was 51, I can change the minimum to something like, say, 50. And if I do that, you can tell that the differences between the two bars are now they look greater. So it's a better way of emphasizing the differences between the two bars if I want to do that. Okay, and other things are minor things like details. You can change the style if you'd like to. Make it 3D. Okay, change the background colors if you want to. The border color. Okay, these are not that important, these things. But if you want to change the style to make it look different, then go ahead. Next up, let's look at the pie chart. Okay, so here I have a pie chart. Well, not a pie chart. We have some data. Remember, a pie chart helps us to see how much each category is as a percentage or as part of the whole. So we have favorite food and number of votes. I'm going to select all of these. Go to insert chart. Okay, looks like it's defaulted to pie chart, which is good. So I'm going to change the title. You can double click on the title, or you can go to chart style again and sorry, not chart style. We can go to chart and axis titles and change the chart title here. Okay, and call it favorite food. Okay, and by default it gives you a 2D pie chart, but if you want to look a bit different, we can again make a 3D pie chart. The pie slices, we can change their colors as well under pie slice. So if I want to change to, say, purple, I could do that. Okay, if I want to change pizza to look more or say pink, purplish pink. All right. We can set a legend as well, but that's not necessary here. Okay. All right, and that's it for the pie chart. Now, one other thing is, this is probably a chart that requires some math to do by hand. Now, you may be asked to do a pie chart by hand on homework or a test or an assignment. Okay, and one way of doing that is to figure out how many degrees each sector should be for each section. Now, a circle is 360 degrees, so you got to figure out what percentage of or how many degrees should each sector be. And we can do that by calculating the total, find out how many volts there are. Okay, I'm going to use the sum formula, equals sum. Okay, and it's going to default to adding that for me, so I'm just going to press enter. 180. So what does that mean? One volt is 360 degrees divided by the total, okay, which is 2, right? 1 volt is 2 degrees. All right, so I'm going to take each number, I'm going to multiply it by 2. All right, I'm going to say B2 times 2, okay, and I'm going to click on the handle and drag so I can apply the formula to every food. And this right here tells me the angle of each sector. Okay, so when I draw my pie chart, if I'm doing by hand, I know how big each sector is going to be. All right, so it's a little bit of advice on how to draw a pie chart. All right, next up, I'm going to look at a line graph. Now remember, a line graph shows you the change in numerical values over time, the change in numerical data as time goes by. So I decided to take something that's a little bit practical, well, not practical, current and relevant here, and that's coronavirus statistics. And I have the number of new cases, and unfortunately there are some deaths too, so the number of deaths in the last 9 days or so. Okay, so you just, again, select the data. Google Sheets, if it sees dates in one column, it's going to know that you want to make a line graph. So I'm going to insert a chart. It's going to give me a line graph. Now, what I can also do is I can make a double line graph to compare the two, right? The change in new cases and deaths. If I select all the data of the headings, insert chart. Okay, and right here, these are my data right here. Okay, so the blue one represents the number of new cases, and the orangish red represents deaths. And I can again customize this, the chart style. Some people like to smooth out the line graph. Click on smooth to make it look a bit smoother. Okay. If you want the graph to take up the whole rectangular space, you can click on maximize. I don't think it's necessary, but if you want to, you can go ahead. All right. Those are the basics of how to do line graphs. All right, next up, a scatter plot. Now remember, a scatter plot compares the relationship between two sets of numerical data. We're only going to talk about scatter plots a little bit here. Scatter plots are going to be covered a lot more in the two variable statistics chapters. All right, so here I have hours studied and test mark. So we can assume that each pair of data represents what's called a data point. So in this case, it could be a student, or each pair of data point could be one different student, or it could be the same student studying for a different test, right? Like for example, for this test, he or she studied 4 hours and got 90, and in this one, he or she studied for 3 hours and got 84%. Okay, I should probably write 80% to emphasize that. Okay, so if I select all the data, go to insert, chart. Okay, this time Google Sheets did not make a scatter plot for me. It kind of made a line graph, which is not what we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to have to go to setup, chart type, and change that to a scatter plot. Okay, there we go. We have our scatter plot. And that's it. Well, one other thing, we don't have to go through this in too much detail right now, is that we can check the relationship between the hours studied and the test mark. And we can do that by going on series and click on something called a trend line. Okay. And the trend line tells you what the general relationship is. We see that this is upward sloping. We have upward sloping line. That means when hours studied increases, so does test marks. So it's kind of saying that for the student or these students, when they study for more hours, their test mark goes up. Again, this is not that important for chapter 5. We're saving that for a later chapter. But it's just something if you want to learn about, you can learn a bit about right now. Okay, that concludes today's lesson.